G'day and welcome to my second video on a Horde base that's designed to make maximum use of blade traps. This is part 2 of the build. I'll link to part 1 in the description below. And in this video we're going to add the first set of blade traps and then run a day 28 Horde to compare it to the day 21 Horde we ran in part 1. Along the way, I'll walk through a few tips and tricks on building the base and fighting a Horde in it. Hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe if you do. Okay, let's finally get our hands on some blade traps. Okay, grab a stack, and then we're going to go down and pop them on the front of the base. Now, I'm a big fan of the blade trap, even more than the dart trap. There's something just satisfying about cutting through a zombie's head with a big chunk of steel. So we'll put the first two up on the corners here so they don't overlap. The next one goes here, same on the other side, and then the last two will go next to these. These are all set at the height, 2 blocks up, so that the blades rotate and hit the zombies in the head for the most part. Next, we need to wire them up. To start with, we're going to go back up top and put up a couple of switches. The reason we want the switches on the inside of the top section of the base is so that if during Horde night we do actually lose a blade trap, we can install a replacement and wire it back up without having to come down here to where the power is, which is obviously where the zombies are as well. So come back up here, got to check that the cable is not red, otherwise it won't connect, and then do the same to the other switch. There we go. And from here we can then start wiring up the traps themselves. Okay, all the right hand ones off this switch, and all the left hand ones off this switch. And here's where we hit our first issue. From up top with the bars in the way, we can't wire up these two blade traps. To get around it, we're going to knock out this section, and from here we can actually reach with the wire tool through to all of the blade traps as long as we maneuver ourselves around the hole. So let's continue wiring up our traps, grabbing the left hand ones and the right. I need to crouch to get to that one, and then the back two. From here, we then just want to make sure that we're not going to fall down this hole during the middle of Horde night. To do that, we want to put up the railing, just some poles. These will do. And spin them around to block off each of the 3 sides that we could potentially fall down. There's the front. There we go. Come on. Pop them up there. And then the same on the other side. And that will stop us falling down accidentally whilst fighting the Horde. Now if you're wondering why I wouldn't just run down the ladder to wire up these blade traps, it's because we need this hole to also be able to repair the blade traps should they take any damage or significant damage during the Horde night. We want to be able to get to them without any risk to ourselves, but also nice and quickly and easily so that we can keep them running and keep the damage up. Alrighty, it's time for a Horde night. I've given myself a bunch of equipment similar to the last Horde night on day 21. Specifically, we've got around 600 rounds of 9mm ammo, we've got a little bit of shotgun ammo, we've got some forged steel for repairs, we've also got some forged iron and electrical parts, some spare blade traps, as well as the pistol and double barrel shotgun. In order to see when zombies are dying to the blade traps, we're also going to make sure that we've got the advanced engineering set up to level 3 so that we start to see the 20% XP from electrical trap kills. So let's get to level 6 on intellect and level 3 electrician on advanced engineering. Now we've got a very similar game stage to last time. Got a few more levels from running the Horde Light in the last video, and we'll also get a little bit of a boost from jumping to day 28. Let's do that now and get into the Horde Night. Probably should turn the blade traps on. And here we go. Well, a dog at least. Where's the rest? Here they come. So I'm going to approach this by generally taking as fewer shots as possible and let the traps do the work. Oh, got a couple already. And see how far down the run they get. I don't expect that we'll have many that actually make it to the last row of traps. Another one. You can see already a lot of the traps are doing a lot of the work for us. And I get to just pick off the stragglers. Now obviously when you're building this base for yourself, you may not have a ton of forged steel because blade traps do require it, as do the repairs. So you can pick and choose which ones you want to start with and potentially leave off going for all 6 traps in the first instance, because as we showed in the last video, any zombies that get past will just end up running a loop anyway and come back around. So you can minimize your steel usage by just going with a few of the traps. The other thing to note is obviously crucibles are hard to get a hold of. There are plenty of videos already on YouTube for how to come across forged steel and what to do to get it. I'll link to some of them in the description below as well. Overall, everything seems to be going pretty nicely. Getting more cops for sure in this run than we did in the last one. But they're generally being taken care of quite nicely. Ooh, bit of spit somewhere. Not sure if that's from a cop or from a vulture. And as you can see, I don't need to shoot many of these. The other thing about the fences that I like with this base is that as all of the zombies crush up at the front, they push each other onto the blade traps, which makes it obviously easier for us. Come back here and make sure our fences are going okay, and probably shut this door, I guess. Again, just picking them off as we need to. Oh, how rude. You can always put up a higher wall to block that line of sight later. We might have to look at that in the next video. You see they're still chopping them up quite nicely, and if we have a look for how much damage they've taken, well, it's taken 500, 300, so not so bad. Probably give them a bit longer before we try and do any repairs. This feels like the next wave. Again, just holding off, let blade traps do their work. came charging in. So many cops. This is obviously set to 64 zombies, so as our game stage increases, we will get closer to that. And I was probably not shooting enough there. So that's knocked out that blade trap. But a quick repair and we're okay. So, probably want to shoot a little more often than I did, or at least focus on the cops, so that doesn't happen. We were lucky though, we didn't lose a blade trap. So I only just had to do some repairs. Blade trap got that one okay. And that might be it. Just after midnight, so significantly faster than the day 21 Horde we did. And checking the ammo, we've used less than 100 rounds of 9mm, which is about 25% compared to the day 21 where we used I think 400 rounds. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please keep an eye out for part 3, where we add even more blade traps and jack up the game stage to show how it goes against an endgame Horde. Have a good one.